So this topic, guys, you ready? Quiet, please. Page 52. This topic is called linear relationships because it's all about straight lines. And we are learning a few different methods on how to draw straight lines. First of all, we learnt the table of values, where we had to sub in our x values to find the y values. Then we learnt about, hopefully, the easier ones, which was the vertical and horizontal lines, which we can draw those straight on the graph. The most recent one was the gradient and y-intercept method that we've spent the last two lessons on. This is our last method that you can use to draw straight lines that we're going to learn today. This is called the x and y intercept method. Now, with the gradient intercept method that we've learned, it's good as long as you get the process right. It is quick and it is easy to sketch the line. However, the problem with it is that you can't always see where the line is going to accurately go through your x and your y axes. Okay? And they're actually really important numbers for stuff that you might want to be doing later on down the track with math. So this method focuses specifically on that. You want to find the points where your line goes through the x-axis and where it goes through the y-axis. Just two little points that we have to find. Okay? Now to find them, if you want to find where the line is going through the x-axis, you're going to substitute in when x is equal to 0. If you want to find where the line is going through the x-axis, you're going to substitute in when y is equal to 0. So every time you see this question, and on your test it will tell you if it wants you to use a certain method. If it says sketch this line using the x and y intercept method, you will know that you have to show when x equals 0 and when y equals 0. Okay, you'll need to do this little calculation. So the first type, you can see I've written it on here. I'm going to do the when x equals 0 on the left and then when y equals 0 over here on the right. If I want x to equal 0, I look at my equation up here, and where the x is, I'm going to replace it with a 0. Now remember that if it's next to a number, it's times. So it is 5 times by 0 minus 3y equals 15. Now straight away, if you have 5 times 0 or any number times by 0, that will just equal 0, and you can cross it off because we don't really need to have 0 in our equation. It's not going to do anything. And now your equation solving skills are super important because we want to get that y by itself. The only thing that is still with that y is that minus 3. It's times with the y. So to get it by itself, I need to divide by minus 3. Cancelling out the 3's on the left-hand side of the equation. What is that noise? Silent. Phone should not be seen or heard. On the right-hand side, 15 divided by minus 3 is negative 5. Okay, I'm going to plot that on the graph in a minute, but I'm going to do the other one first. Now on the other side of my line, I now want to come back to my original equation, and I want to make the y equal to 0. So starting up here, I have 5x. And minus 3 times 0 equals 15. Straight away, the 3 times 0, cross it out because that equals 0. And I just need to get rid of the 5 over here in front of my x. So I divide by 5. Divide the other side by 5. X will now be by itself, and 15 divided by 5 equals 3. You can put those solutions in a box if you like, because it helps to highlight those answers.
You're using the opposite letter on.
Yeah. Because if I want to now plot these on my graph, which is the whole goal here, if it says y equals minus 5, I go to my y-axis and I find the minus 5 and I put a dot. Okay, so that is my y-intercept, which was when x equals 0. Now for the other one, when x equals 3 means that I go to my x-axis, I find the 3 and I put a dot. And all I need is those two dots and I can draw my line with my ruler. Oh, I was going to check who had rulers today. Hopefully everybody.
I have a protractor with a flat side, is that okay?
That's okay. As long as you got a straight edge, it works.
Does the calculator
This
work?
is a straight edge.
Yeah.
Not really.
Actually, it is straight edge.
Maybe write a list for me, Mr. Patterson, of who needs to do some extra jobs for me at lunchtime because they don't have a ruler. Nope. All right, nope. If you don't have one, Mr. Patterson will give you one, but you're going to stay behind for me at lunch. Question 2. Let's do it again. Whenever you're using this method, yeah, good. Oh, they're too scared to ask for a ruler now. Oh, Xavier needs one.
Why do you have a bunch of spare rulers?
Surprisingly, they come in handy for people who don't bring their own.
Yes, can I use this?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, I'm so lucky.
Maybe you need to stay tuned. All right, that's enough distraction. Let's get back to our next question. Always start by writing at the top in your little space there. I want you to write down when x equals 0, and then on the other side, when y equals 0. This is how you find the x and the y-intercept. If you sub x equals 0 into my new equation, so new equation up here, 2x plus 5y equals 10, we're going to get 2 times 0 plus 5y equals 10. 2 times 0 is nothing. Cross it out. So to get rid of the 5, I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and I will get y equals 10 divided by 5, which is 2. Start again, and now this time from our original equation, we want to put that y is equal to 0 in there. So that's 2x plus 5 times 0 equals 10. Okay, we're getting the idea of putting the 0 where the y is? Good? No? We'll do some more practice. Cross off 5 times 0 because that's nothing. Then I want to divide by 2, Cash, don't need the comments,
5.
and I get x equals 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, boxes around my answers. Now let's put them on the graph. The first one, y is equal to 2, you go to the y-axis and you put a dot at the positive 2. Then x equals 5, you go to the x-axis and put a dot at the 5. You have a question, Cash? No, you just were waving your hand around.
I think I've noticed that their numbers so far have been like opposite. But if you were timing the one,
Yeah, there is a bit of a pattern there, isn't there? Okay, let's try again. We're going to do this over and over. Next one, we have a new equation, 2x minus y equals 4. Always start by writing down when x equals 0 and when y equals 0. Putting x equals 0 into the equation, 2x will become 2 times 0. Then I have the minus y and equals 4. 2 times 0 is nothing. Cross it out. A minus in front of your y, though, that is like a minus 1. If you want to get rid of it, you're dividing by negative 1. That will cancel the minus sign out. Y equals negative 4. Now the second half. Go back to your equation and now sub in that y is equal to 0. So that is 2x minus, instead of y, I'm replacing the y with a 0, equals 4. Don't need the 0, cross it out. But I need to get rid of the 2, so I'm going to divide by 2. X equals 2.
Oh, X equals 2, yeah.
Okay, to plot them, y equals -4 means go to the y-axis, go down to -4 and put a dot. X equals 2 means go to x-axis, go to the 2 and put a dot. And use your ruler to neatly join it up. Make sure that you extend your line a little bit so that you can put arrows on the ends. All right, I'm going to give you a head start for question 4. I want you all to have a try. You stop in there. You get to go. So,
It'll just be y.
this one here?
Yeah. You're finding it the same as what we did last time.
There will be a fractional answer here, if that's what you're worried about.
It's the same as what we did last time. Y was by itself on the last question.
So for this one, you're going to put 0 into here. So it's going to be 3 times 0 plus y equals 5. The second one's the fraction.
Y equals 1.
It's a 1y, if that's what you mean. Yes, the number in front of it would be a 1.
That's why I put the y and then 5.
You actually don't need to divide by anything. Let me show you. I'll do the first half for those of you who've already tried it. If I make x equals 0, I have 3 times 0 plus y equals 5. 3 times 0 is nothing, and because there is no number left in front of that y, and there's no minus sign, so don't have to worry about that either, it is just y equals 5. The fraction's going to come for the next one. So just try the second one, sub in that y is equal to 0, or have you had tried that already? Yeah, some of you have. If you have found your x value, you could plot it on your graph and draw the line up.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of numbers.
So you should have 3x plus 0 equals 5. Cross out the 0. But then we need to divide by 3 to get the x by itself, which unfortunately doesn't go very nicely. It's going to happen. They're not always going to be nice whole numbers. 5 over 3 as a mixed numeral. 3 goes into 5 once with a remainder of 2. So it's 1 and 2/3. So you have to do your best estimate of where that's going to be on the graph. First of all, y equals 5. You go to y-axis. It'll be a dot up here. And x equals 1 and 2/3 would be slightly towards the 2, like over halfway between the 1 and the 2. And rule it up. Okay, so we've done 4, and your practice starts here on exercise 9. Take the time and make sure you do that working out properly. It is more important to get them right than to be racing towards the finish. Yeah, get started.